and see if I can get Instagram. Thank y'all for joining. This is this new system that I'm trying to use. So I don't know if I'm able to see your comments. If someone could say hello, then I can tell. We'll wait a few more minutes, let people get in. Thank y'all for joining and sharing. Hi. Let's see. Hi from Russia. All right, here we go. Hey, okay, good. So you can see me. I cannot share it. Let's see. Y'all give me 1 second. I just want to wait for a few more people just so I won't have to, because I was late and then it's, you have, hey, BJ, hey, y'all. I don't think it's going to allow me to do what I need to do. Hey, y'all, thank y'all so much for joining and supporting me. All right, let me share this in Messenger. Give me a second because I promise somebody else won't send it. There we go. All righty. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Can everyone hear me? Can y'all hear me on Instagram? Can you hear me on all these other things? Can y'all hear me? Let me know. Please put in the chat that you can hear me. Say, hey, Valencia, did you get my message? Say, yes, you can hear me. No, you can't. Can y'all hear me? On Facebook, can y'all hear me? Okay, good. All right, thank you. Okay, thanks, Instagram. All right. Valencia, did you get, oh, you did. Okay, you got it. Okay. All right. So listen, as you come in, if you all don't mind sharing out this video, we're gonna see what it does. Let it do what it do, okay? Thank you, BJ. All right, so for those of you all who are new to me, my name is Wendy L. Alexander. I am a cross-cultural consultant as well as an award-winning international speaker and best-selling author and international strategist. And so I am coming to share part of my journey. I said going into 2021, I will start sharing more and more and more about my journey in the Middle East and my experiences. And today is the first time for me sharing this experience. And I don't know, some people, the post that I posted, some people didn't like it. They were, it'll be a replay. They didn't care for it too much. And then some people are very supportive. And so I think everyone's going to have their own feelings about whatever it is. But I'm a true believer in being obedient, and obedience over approval is just what I live by. And so I know that maybe not everyone will agree, but there will be someone out there that this will touch. It's always someone, right? Okay, BJ. Right? It's always somebody that'll be inspired. Somebody, will be inspired by it. And so I'm going to share my truth. And so for those of you all, thank you so much for joining. For those of you all, I'm also on Instagram at inspiring.decisions. If anything goes wrong within this Facebook, because conniption I got going on here. Okay. Thank you for joining. And so again, so I've been actually doing a lot of international business, traveling to different parts of the Middle East and India, London, and just different parts of the world. And I really enjoy everything about culture. Lived in Dubai for a couple of years and wanted to really, really immerse myself more within the culture. And so I said to myself, I said, you know, I need people to know my truth. I need people to really know my truth because a lot of times when people would see me dressed up in the hijab, I used to get a lot of people who would criticize me for dressing up in the abaya and the hijab. Now, not asking any questions, they just judged, okay? And so what they didn't know is if I was in some, you know, a place like Saudi Arabia or someplace like that, I at the time when I was there, I had to wear the abaya. It wasn't a choice, okay? But as time went on, thank y'all so much for joining. As time went on, I was like, I really want to understand more about, you know, why do they wear it? What do they wear it for? And I don't want to just wear it. You know, I just don't want to just put it on because I have to. And so I really just started really understanding the culture, really understanding the Islamic faith and immersing myself in it. Listen, y'all, I've been doing this for years in the Muslim countries. And I was like, I need to know more about their culture. I'm around it every day. And then when I was living there, I lived next to a mosque. Okay. Right. Like right outside my window, you can see the mosque. So I was like, okay, I really need to really learn more. Right. And so it was told to me that, that a Christian could not read the Quran. I'm going to put this in this chat for y'all. Just in case if this goes out, I'm on Instagram here, y'all, if it goes out. Okay. So this is my Instagram, inspiring.decisions, if it goes out. All right. So, yeah, BJ said on Instagram she could remember the prayer. And so I was told that a Christian could not have the Quran to read. And so for years, I never asked, I'm being honest. I never asked about it, never asked to have one. And then finally I got comfortable enough. Hey, Rosemary. Finally, I got comfortable enough to ask somebody, is it true, you know, as a Muslim, can I have the Quran? And then so they were like, well, some people do frown upon it, but you know, you're using it for the purpose of really trying to learn. And I was, you know, and so this person found me a Quran that had English as well as Arabic written in it. And so, oh, you know, I forgot to invite somebody. So she gave it to me and she gave me a whole lot of other books as well. And, you know, that's how I really started learning and, you know, just really immersing myself in the culture and just trying to, one of the things I truly believe is that you definitely have to be respectful when you actually travel to someone else's country. You know, I mean, listen, as Americans, we can be spoiled and we think everything's supposed to be our way and we haven't this entitlement. And it's the truth. And so when you go to other people's countries, you can't have entitlement. You shouldn't. And so I got the Quran. I started reading it. And then I think it was in 2012 or 13, I had to go do a training in Dubai. And it was during Ramadan. And during Ramadan, I'm on Facebook too, you all. So if you get kicked off of Instagram, I'm on Facebook at inspiring.decisions or my private page if you're on there. But 2013, I was actually, hey y'all, I was introduced to Ramadan and I had to present a training, okay, to a bunch of Muslim men. And they're all white. They was all dressed up and their faces were like this. I'll never forget. And the trainer told me, and I'm sorry, not a trainer, the translator said, this is Ramadan. And I said, okay, I remember reading about it. And he was like, okay, so you know that you don't eat and you don't drink in front of them. And I was like, so what happens during break time? And he was like, you don't eat and you don't drink. He said, but because you are American, we have a place in the back, hospitality. We're going to talk about that. We have a place in the back for you if you need to go and drink something. And it took me a minute, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into at the time, but I knew I wanted to be respectful. So I was like, no, I'm okay. And they were just like, so you're going to go all day and you're not going to eat or drink. And so I was like, well, what are they going to do? He was like, they don't eat or drink from sun up to sundown. I was like, no water, no nothing. And then they were like, nothing. And he was like, well, what do you do as a Christian? I was like, well, when we fast, we'll say we taking away TV, coffee, or we'll say we're going to fast from 6 to 12. And, something, it's different ways that Christians fast, right? And so I was like, I've never done sun up to sundown with nothing. I said, what if I get a headache? He said, you can't take anything. I said, well, what about, makeup and stuff? You don't wear makeup. So you're just pure. Everything's clean, everything. He said, yes. And, you don't look at men. So we went all into the whole thing about Ramadan. I said, okay, I got it. I could do it. I said, I can do this. Y'all, that was the toughest 7 days of my life, to be honest. But I respect it. It broke me in. And it honestly told me, listen, if you're going to continue to go down this road of being, the global entrepreneur and working in the Middle East, this is what you are going to, thank you. This is what you're going to have to endure, and I always say that God never put you in positions that you cannot handle. So I kept telling myself that he said, I could do this. I could handle this. And so the next day came and they were just like, Miss Wendy, how was it? And then I was like, I'm fine. I was like, I'm ready to go. And they were like, are you sure? We put water in the back for you. I was like, I don't need it. Let's go. And then so afterwards that night, they invited me out. And so I really got to experience Ramadan, like the eating, we take our dates and we eat our dates. And for those of you all who are Muslim, what I'm saying? So you break your fast with dates. And then you have your tea and, you eat. And so after that year, I think it was 2012, 2013, I can't remember exactly. I have been practicing Ramadan ever since. It has become a part of me. When I came home, I still was practicing Ramadan. I had to find me some good dates because these dates over here are not like Dubai in the Middle East. It's just not the same. But I found me a place. And I got to find me a place here. But I practiced. I did everything. And I truly believed in sharing and embracing that experience. Because one thing I always said that I didn't want to be was I didn't want to be that person who is training or teaching somebody something and thank you, not experiencing it. You know how sometimes we'll Google something or we'll tell people what we know and we never ever experienced it. We do that a lot. And so I didn't want to be that person. I didn't want to be the person. I never wanted to be that person that assumed or had to guess. And so I knew it was going to be tough. And so when I talk about sacrifices, thank y'all so much for joining. Please share out. So I don't, like I said, I know this is for somebody. And so when when you saw me, like BJ on Instagram, she would say, Wendy, I remember we used to hear the prayer calls because I would be up. I just never expressed to BJ and them that I was up because I was praying also. Right. So just because I was hearing that I heard the prayer call, listen to what I'm saying. I heard the prayer call. I didn't hear this is Islamic religion call. Oh, this is the call just for them to go pray. I heard a prayer call. And so it would wake me up. And it's so funny when I actually saw the mosque being built, I was like, oh, because I had already moved there and then the mosque was being built. And I was like, every time I moved to an apartment in Dubai, they built a mosque right next to it. I lie to you not. Every single time they build a mosque, every time I'm like, God, why every time I move, there's one right next to where I moved? So then after it just continued to happen, I said, okay, I know a mosque is going to go up. And sure enough, right? So I'm gonna answer questions. So please, if you're on Instagram, you can put your questions in the question box. I don't want to miss anything. Okay. And then on Facebook, y'all can put your questions inside the chat and I'll answer them. But I would wake up and I would pray. And so I would pray when they prayed. When during Ramadan, I prayed when they prayed. When I was working, wherever I was working in the schools, the government, when they went and prayed, I went and prayed. Right. And so, because it's almost like you sit there and it's like, it made me think like every time they would go pray and I would just observe them. And I was like, gosh, they're really consistent. Like they stop and drop everything to go pray. Now, I'm not saying now before y'all even get, anything. No, I mean, I lived in Dubai. And so before y'all get all in your stuff, I still pray to the Father, the Lord Jesus Christ. Okay. And so, of course, I'm going to have some craziness on Periscope, but it's fine. And so I still do. And so I wanted to really understand like how I was like, they're so consistent. They're so consistent in how they pray. We could be in a business meeting, right? And when we're in a business meeting, it's just, they just stop. They stop and they pray. And I was like, okay, let me think. Do I remember being in a business meeting in America and and this is the truth. I'm sharing my truth, y'all. And as a Christian, do I remember stopping and praying during a business meeting? No. And I started thinking about it. I was like, wow, we don't even have prayer in schools anymore. So, So then I start going to the schools and stuff. And then I go in and you hear the prayer call. And I was like, is that the prayer call? And they was like, yeah. And I was like, y'all have prayer rooms? And they was like, yeah. And I was like, let me see the prayer rooms. And so I really started really embedding myself into the culture. And my theology for prayer expanded while traveling in different parts of the Middle East. And when I say my prayer, I'm talking about I personally grew closer to God and understanding God through my Muslim brothers and sisters. And this is my truth. So all the times of me going to church, this is the truth, y'all. And this might be hard for my Christian brothers and sisters to hear. I don't know. But it just shouldn't matter how I got here, is that I'm here. Right? It shouldn't matter how I got here as long as I'm here. And so that's where I am right now. And so with that, I really realized within that prayer, it wasn't stagnant. It wasn't something that happened every now and then, or when someone says, and come on, y'all, I'm going to pray for you. Are you feeling bad today? I'm going to pray for you. As African Americans, I'm going to pray for you usually means that text message that you sent saying, I'm going to pray for you. That's 9 times out of 10, sometimes the truth, y'all. That's the length that is going. Now, some of us might get off and really, honestly, let me write down that person's name and really pray for them. But a lot of times it's just a saying, I'm going to pray for you. But when they would tell me, Miss Wendy, are you feeling okay? Are you sick? We're going to pray for you. And we're going to pray right now. And it was their prayer. No, I didn't understand everything. Some of the stuff I can understand because I can understand Arabic a little bit. So I can understand some of it. And so, but they would really pray for me and my family, y'all. Like, and their hospitality, let me tell y'all something. I don't care what people say. And I'm not saying that everything they do is right. I'm not saying that I believe in everything. I'm not saying all that. I'm not saying I agree with everything they do. But one thing I can say is that I know how they treated me. And I know how when people who I have brought over to Dubai have had the utmost respect given to them from Muslim people. Right? They really do. They have. And so when they said they're going to pray for me, till this day, people from 16 years ago, y'all, still message me till this day. And they're Muslims and they'll say, Merry Christmas, Miss Wendy. How are you and your family doing? I got messages the other day. I just want to check in with you and your family. I hope you all are doing well and blessed. We still pray for you and your family, Miss Wendy. And I know that they're sincere about it. I know that they are. And so it taught me to also not be that person that says, I'm going to pray for you and your family and not do it. Because I used to be that person too. I'm being truthful. But then when I moved over there, I was like, no, I got to take the time and really, if I'm going to say I'm going to pray for you, I'm going to pray for you. And I got to pray for you. And that's what they taught me. They taught me to be consistent with prayer, right? That there were no exceptions. So therefore, the other day I went to, it was, what is it called, y'all? I went to an event called Boss Hijab, right? I went to Boss Hijab event. And this is my Muslim sister. I was hoping she's going to be on here, but I can't find, I don't know why it won't let me find her name. But I went to her event, and during the event, they said, okay, I'm sorry, we have to take a moment for prayer. It's time to pray. During the event, it's prayer time. So think about it. They have an event, but they built in prayer. Now, I don't know a whole lot of events that I've been to. This is the truth. Unless it was in a church, right? Or at some function where they said, we're going to stop and we're going to pray. Most of the conferences that I go to, even if it's business, we're not stopping and praying. We don't. And so this, I had to get used to that. Y'all want to stop right here in the middle of signing the contract? We're here to sign the contract. Yes, who cares? We get to break out the prayer rugs and we about to pray. What you going to do? And it got to that point. It's like, what are you going to do? Right? And so when it was like, what are you going to do? I had to sit there and I say, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Do I sit here and watch them pray 5 times a day and sit here, watch them be consistent within their faith, and I'm not consistent within my own faith? What is this telling me? What is it telling me? It was telling me that I need to be consistent within my own faith, that I need to pray whenever it is, and that I shouldn't worry about nobody judging me. If I want to pray during business meeting, if I want to say, thank you, Jesus, thank you, God, then I should be able to pray. I should be able to do it when I want to, right? And I had to, and not worry about whether or not somebody's going to judge me, because when they pray, they're not worried about whether me as an American were going to judge them. Thank y'all for joining. They weren't worried about that. They didn't care if I was going to, they didn't care nothing about my judgment. They didn't care nothing about what I had to say, what I thought. They were praying. And if it took a long time, it took a long time. And even when I started doing trainings over there, I used to train for the government. And we had to stop and pray. And sometimes it would be, they take as long as they want to. And I had to get used to that, because our Western ways is, no, I'm doing a training. You go to lunch, you come back on time. But not I no, I need to go pray and you need to wait to do your training. We're not used to that. We're not. And so the whole time I was over there, after all those years, the last 2 years of being, my last 2 years before I came home, it was a year on Thanksgiving. I've been home now. I actually, honestly, I said, this is it. I hear you, God. Everybody, I always say you're purposely placed. He placed me on purpose in the Middle East. I say, why do you keep placing me in the Middle East? Why is everything the Middle East? Why is it Abu Dhabi? Why is it Dubai, Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia? Why do you keep why? And the whole thing was based on me, number one, of course, helping other women, right? To expand their business locally, yes. But most importantly, for us to build and to connect together, regardless of our faith, regardless of our religion and our culture. And God will send a soldier to go to war and to sacrifice and to come back. And I was that person. But it took me, it took these last 2 years to really understand, why do you keep sending me here? Why do these people keep coming to me? Why am I so fascinated with the Islamic culture, but I'm not converted? What is it? So the whole time I was over there, I was still praying to my God. I was still reading the Bible. But what I did was I took their practices of what they do of praying 5 times a day, minimum, and I incorporated it into my own. That's what I did. Thank you. That's what I did. So no, I didn't change. I am not a Muslim. I'm still a Christian, because I believe that everybody can learn from another religion. We all can learn something from another religion. You don't have to be all embedded and converting in order to learn from somebody. And our thing is that I feel like sometimes we draw the line like, okay, I can learn X, Y, and Z, but when it comes to your religion, I don't want to learn your religion. I don't want to learn. I'm going to stop there because, this is my religion and I don't want to learn that. And vice versa. Let me tell you something. When I was over there, they asked me everything about Christianity. They were open. We had church. Church was on Fridays, not Sunday. Did I have to get used to working? We worked on Sunday through Thursday. And I had to get used to working on Sunday. And then just like when I was talking to Dr. Princess Fumi Hancock, and she said to me, and we were talking, what is a day? What is a day? Why is it that I have to feel like I got to be closer to God, or the Sunday is the day that we actually worship? Why is it the day? Why isn't it every day? Why does the day really matter? Right? So and therefore I was able to say, you know what, I can still do this. I can still worship my God. It might not be on Sunday. It might be on Friday physically here in the UAE, but I can also make sure that if I wanted to, I could still go online because we had online on Sunday, right? Does that make sense? I was in Dubai. Does that make sense? And so I was able to wear the hijab. I was able to wear the abaya. And I was still able to be a Christian, but I became so close to God during those times. Y'all have no idea. And I was able to find myself, find out who I was. Like I thought, now this is my truth. I said this before. A lot of times y'all have been following me and y'all would say, oh, Wendy, I think it's so amazing that you're in Dubai and you're all over and you're doing all these things. And I would say, I don't understand. What's so amazing? Because I was I was being obedient. And I was like, God told me to go here. That's what I'm gonna do. I don't even know what I'm doing. That's the truth. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just gonna go and I'm just gonna be here and I'm just gonna just do what he say do. And I guess he gonna lead me the right way. So I guess I'm just gonna keep on doing whatever it is, and it's gonna all come together eventually. And that's what happened. It's just now coming together. This is my truth. I now see the big picture of what happened. And so even then, so now we talk about now, like I'm praying 5 times a day, right? And I'm being more consistent with my faith, right? But let's talk about this fasting. Okay. Fasting. Hey, sis. Fasting. Now listen, like I said, I would be like, yes, let me go pray. I need to fast. I'm a take away. Look, I'm not going to drink no coffee for 7 days, 20 days, whatever it is. I'm not going to watch TV. I'm a fast from 6 to 12. I'm praying. I'm fast from 6 to 12. I just knew I was fasting, honey. I knew I was fasting and praying. But let me tell you something. When I got to the United Arab Emirates, let me tell you something. They taught me about fasting, honey, and how to fast and pray. And they didn't say, here, take the Quran. This is how you take the Quran and you have to bow. No, they didn't say all of that. They just said, when you pray and you fast, they were like, why do you feel like you still need to eat? Why do you feel like you still need this thing? Why can't it be for 30 days? Why can't you do that? What is stopping you from committing to that? What is stopping you from not taking that sip of coffee at 1 o'clock? But you said that you were going to go till 12. Why can't you just go the whole day and not do it? And I didn't know what to say. And he was like, things, and I'll never forget the conversation. And so the conversation basically taught me how to pray. I fast totally different. I am more disciplined in my faith. I'm more obedient. And I have discernment like never before. And so with that, I now take those same things that I have done and what I've learned, and I'm always learning. And you'll see me a lot of times, people, hi, thank you for joining. You'll see me, and a lot of times people, especially I'm on a lot of platforms where they talk about Islamic faith, and then I'll, and different, and I'm always learning something new. And I ask questions. I used to be scared, y'all, to ask questions. Like, I wonder if they're going to be like, why is she asking questions about our religion? But no, they want you to. And they were excited that I wanted to learn. And I learned something new in each country. I learned something different in Saudi Arabia. Saudi broke me. Saudi was a whole different ball game, because Saudi is not what Saudi is today. When I was in Saudi, we had to wear the hijabs. Women couldn't drive. Women couldn't go into the restaurants. It was none of that was going on. So Saudi really taught me the culture the most, to be honest. That's where I really, really learned the Islamic culture. And so, hey sis, so there, and then I learned something different in Kuwait. Then I learned something different when I lived in Dubai. And so every place has taught me something differently. But what I can say is that I have become so closer to God and my faith and my consistency with prayer, and really knowing to pray. Again, I'm not that person. This is my truth, y'all, that says, I'm going to pray for you, sis. I hope everything's okay. Oh, something's wrong with I hope, sis, I'm going to pray for your husband. And then I go on and do whatever I'm going to do. I'm being truthful. Now, when I say it, it's like, and if I'm not going to pray for them, I ain't saying it. If I'm not going to pray for you, I'm not going to say it. If I say it, my whole body I stop whatever I'm doing. So when I say that to you, I have completely stopped, because that's what they taught me. You completely stop and you pray right at that moment, whatever it is. I have been on a Zoom call and told people, 1 minute, I'll go and turn the video off. Oh, I'm going to look at it. I'll go and turn the video off just so I can and pray. So that's my truth. The other thing is, I learned about hospitality. Now, I'm a very giving person, and I would definitely say within when I lived in Dubai, their hospitality is like none. I'm gonna be honest. Some people might have their own experiences. This is my experience. Anytime I felt welcome, Miss Wendy, you're coming to our house. I've been to weddings. It's nothing for somebody to invite you to their home. They want to show you around. And I know a lot of times people are like, I'm not getting in anybody's car. I'm not going to anybody's house. I'm not doing that. But that's their culture, so that's what they do. They take you around. They want to show you around. They believe they're proud of their culture. They're proud of their country. And so the hospitality thing, like I went to another level with that. Also their community holds them accountable. And what I mean by that is that, so when it's time to pray, you'll see everybody else praying, right? So you could be at the job, work, people pull out the prayer rugs, right there at work. Now, we do something like that here in the US, it's going to be a hot mess, right? Seriously, it really is. Y'all know that, right? So I had to get used to it. And I was like, oh, y'all gonna pray right here? Y'all, this is where y'all gonna pray? So I said, okay, well, I know I can't be pulling out prayer rugs and stuff when I get back to the US. I can't be doing that. Okay. But what I can do is at least close my eyes and pray to myself. But I really honestly feel, and this is my truth, I don't know where, as far as, I'm trying to keep pushing. All right, I said I wasn't going to do this. Okay. When you thought all your life that you knew God, and you find out that you really didn't, and when you do find out who He is, it's a powerful thing. And yes, I learned it in a Muslim country. And no, not everyone has agreed. I've gotten the most hateful messages from my Christian brothers and sisters. But my Muslim brothers and sisters always stood by me regardless. Not once when I put on that hijab or that abaya did they say, why are you doing that? Because you're a Christian. No one's ever said that to me. My judgment came only from my Christian Muslim brothers. I'm sorry, from my Christian brothers and sisters is when people would say something. And what this message I'm sending you is that it doesn't matter how somebody gets closer to whatever God it is that they serve, as long as they get closer to that God. That's it. And we live in a world full of judgment and hate. And at some point in time, if you really look at 2020, we have all suffered the same pandemic, the exact same thing, in the same different countries, different religions, different backgrounds. We are all suffering the same thing. And if you don't get the message out of 2020, you're going to continue to be lost. If you don't see that we are all supposed to come together and love one another regardless of our background, our religion, our faith, then I suggested you go seek and find yourself. And that's the truth. Because one thing this journey has taught me is to love regardless of what you look like, regardless of wherever you come from, regardless of your faith, of your background. My whole assignment, I know my assignment and my full purpose in life. And there is not a message of hate that anyone could ever send me again that's going to stop me from doing what I need to do, because I am going to be obedient regardless of what anybody says. I am. I'm going to continue to be obedient. If y'all knew half the messages that come through, and if I had listened to half the messages that people have said to me about I should not support Muslims, I should not, I am a, thank you. I am not, I'm as a Christian, I shouldn't be wearing the hijab, the abaya. It's just, I'm just like, why? Why is clothing, what does that determine? I am who I am. And there is no way that you're going to tell me. There's no way that you're going to tell me that I jumped on a plane 16 years ago, not knowing who I was going to meet in the United Arab Emirates, and had a contract in 2 days, everything paid for. I felt the safest I ever felt in my life. I felt free. I felt complete. And I said, I know, I love you too. I said, I know that God has placed me here. I don't know what's the reason. I didn't know then. I don't know why you placed me here. And then I would hear the stories, years down the road, like no one knew about Dubai. Y'all weren't even talking about Dubai, right? So when people started finally talking about Dubai, and I was like, I've been over here a long time, been doing stuff. And I said, why do you want me here? What is that you have me to do in the United Arab Emirates? God, this is tough for me. I'm a Christian. I'm a Black woman. I am a woman in a Muslim country, and you're asking me to go in front of all these powerful people. That's what you were asking me to do. I don't know this culture. I don't know if they want me or not. I was by myself, y'all. I didn't have no security. My husband was in Iraq somewhere working. I had nobody but myself. But what I did was I just because I became closer to God years later doesn't mean I never had faith. Does that make sense? I've always had faith, because I wouldn't have got on that flight. I wouldn't have got on that flight. I wouldn't have said, I'm going to take this leap. I'm going to get on this flight. And I know that God has me. And he's had me ever since. Ever since. After getting on that flight, where I didn't know where I was going to land, where I didn't even know who was picking me up. I didn't know, truthfully, if I was going to get paid, because there was no contract. I talk about that all the time. I didn't know. I just went out on faith. I promise you it was all faith. I never been to this country before, ever in my life. But everything was paid for. I got paid in cash when it was time for me to leave. They continued to pay for me to come over. And I said, I stood there and I'll never forget. And I said, I'm going to have a business in Dubai. I am going to have a business and I'm going to have one here in Abu Dhabi and I'm going to travel the world and I'm going to have a business all over these places. And I did. And all of that was because of faith. But my faith was not as strong as it is today. And I have to honestly thank my Muslim brothers and sisters because some of them are watching. And they still help me today. And I need that. And that's the truth, y'all. I'm just being truthful. So a lot of times I have to go on over there, find out what they're doing because I need it. I need that consistency. They give it to me. I know that they praying 5 times a day. I know what time they praying. I know I can find one of my sisters or brothers who are Muslim. I know that they're going to be praying. It's not going to be whether or not, let me see, well, maybe they got something to do. Well, maybe they're going to pray later. Maybe it's going to be on Wednesday night prayer. I ain't got to worry about that. I know I'm going to find one of them. God is so good. I know I am, you know? And then I have my Christian sisters that I can call. I have certain ones that I know I can call anytime for prayer. My fearless visionary sisters, Dr. Princess, all of them, Erica, Dr. Robin, all of them. Listen, you have to surround yourself, and that's the other thing. I want to be around people who are praying for me and not against me, right? And at some point in time, you have to create that circle. Like, are you really praying for me or are you praying against me? Are you? And so now that I have that full spirit of discernment, I know who's praying for me and praying against me. I know who they are. Because when you are obedient, God is going to, I promise you, when you pray for him to remove people from your life that don't need to be there, he will remove them. Trust and believe. He will remove them and let him remove them, please. Don't do like I used to do and try to hang on because I'm always the savior. Anybody else in here the savior? I'm the savior. I want to save everybody. That was me. I want to save everybody and give my heart and everything. And the whole time they were trying to take from me. But when you stay consistent, that's right. When you stay consistent within your faith, and I'm going to say this because I'm glad she's on here. So Erica Johnson is actually on Instagram, and we were in Dubai. So I would have events called the Global Sisterhood Retreat. And during the retreat, we had the Global Business Connections Conference that I had, right? So we were leaving. Every time we get together, it's always something where Dr. Princess for me Hancock. I don't even know if she's on here, but it's always something. It's something that goes to 10. Okay. So we ended up all crying and praying. Okay. But that's a sisterhood, honey, when you crying and you praying. Okay. So, and she said to me, Eric, I don't even know if you remember this. She said to me, listen, God wants you to get closer to him. He wants you to be closer to him. And I just cried and I never said anything to her. And I still ain't, this is my first time sharing this with her. Always something on live, right? I never shared to her that I was already going through that I felt it. So when she said it, it scared me. It scared me. This was what? When did we go to Dubai, y'all? In 2000, when was my event? 2019, I think, something like that. Yeah. And I was going through it already. And I was wondering why I was getting so close to my Muslim brothers and sisters. And we were talking about the Bible. We were talking about the Quran. And then all of a sudden, here she come. He wants you to get closer. And it was already happening. It was happening. And I was scared to death when she said it. And then I was pushing away. This is my truth, y'all. I started pushing away from my Muslim brothers and sisters in the Islamic faith because I thought that maybe if I'm doing this, then maybe I'm going to not be doing right by Jesus. And I'm going against the Bible. And I had to pray about that thing. I had to pray about it. I ain't gonna lie. I had to pray. And then that's when he was like, no, they're teaching you. I sent you to the Middle East, not just for business, not just to bring people together. That's not what I sent you there for. I sent you there so you could learn to be closer to me, but just in a different way, and to also show people that you can learn from somebody else's religion, and for you to go back and tell the people that just because you're a Christian doesn't mean that you can't learn from a Muslim, and just because you're a Muslim doesn't mean that you can't learn from a Christian. So it wasn't always about just the business. And the thing about it is if you take your time, we can learn something from each other. We can learn something from each other. Just because the person sitting next to you doesn't have the same religion, the same faith, does not mean that you cannot learn from them. The problem is that we don't want to. We close our minds and our hearts. And we have our own judgment. And thou shalt not judge, but we judge anyway. That's what we do. But that's not the reason why he sent me to the Middle East. He sent me to the Middle East in order for me to share my journey, my truth. And from this day on, what's today, y'all? That's all I'm going to. Now, I've been sharing the truth, but y'all ain't heard it. And I'm going to continue to share even more. Because I'm praying that honestly, that everybody can honestly just one day come together. And even in my events, if y'all saw, I was so intentional about making sure that I had different religions and backgrounds and cultures on my panel. If you come to any of my events, you're going to be in the room with somebody that's not like you. They're not going to look like you. They're not going to have this, I was going to say smell like you. They ain't going to look like you. They're not going to have the same religion. They're not going to have the same faith background. Y'all going to get to know some people if you around me. Okay? So if you come to one of my events, it's an international event. And international with faith and religion. And we are going to learn to love on each other regardless. If you're around me. Because just like Dr. Robin said, we always say we got circles. Well, I have a corner. And my corner is very little. Right? And I want people in my corner who are going to be willing to ride with me on this journey of bringing people together, that you are going to reach out and you're going to say, you know what, I'm no longer going to just be closed-minded and say, oh, because I saw something on TV about the Muslim culture, 9/11, everybody, ISIS, and everybody is like that. No, they're not all like that. Just like all Black people are not the same. All white people are not the same. All Indians are not the same. All Chinese are not the same. It's the same thing. And just like we don't want to be singled out, they don't either. Just like when they walk down the street, they don't want you to look at them and assume something. They don't. So open your heart. So when you see somebody that's not the same religion, instead of judging them and assuming that this is what they do. Oh, she has on the hijab. Girl, I'm about to holler. She has on the hijab because she has to wear it. Does she? Does she have to wear it? Thank you, Dr. E. Does she? How do you know? You Googled it? Did you Google that men can't do certain things, Muslim men and Muslim women can't do certain things? You probably Googled it. And then this whole time you've been assuming. Truthfully. Just like the Muslims, they probably said something. They did it to me. They said, oh, Miss Wendy, I thought such and such. No, that's not true. Let me tell you about it. That was what I wanted to know. Was there a difference between the hijab and other words always saying, the abaya? The hijab is the one that I wear on my head, and then the abaya is the black thing around me. Make sense? On the picture, if you see the picture, is black, and the hijab is that. Good question. I'm on Instagram. So I don't know if this helped anyone. I was not coming on here and get emotional, but I have been like, so I've been holding this in, y'all, for so long. And then I was like, I woke up the other morning, guys, like, you got to share this. I was like, I don't want to share this with them. They're going to come after, I know they're going to come after me. And I was like, you know what? It is what it is. He was like, I got you. That's what he said. You know, me and God, we had that talk. He said, I got you. You go ahead. I got you. You don't worry about them. You just do what I told you to do. And that's what I did. And I feel a lot better. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you work with Wendy L. Alexander, you will be global, even if it's just global from having a connection with somebody, positioning your business, something. You're going to know somebody from a different country. There is no, put a 1 in the chat. Honestly, this is the truth. Put a 1 in the chat if you have been to one of my events, you have been in my class, and that 1 in the chat if you know somebody from a different culture since then, or you've done business with them. Because that's my whole thing. That's right. I have to be obedient. Do they have colorism in Dubai? Not for African Americans. It's more so for other religions. Americans are seen as Americans. We're not seen as Black first. We're seen as Americans. And again, that's a great question, Valencia. Because, again, if you think about what I said, so I'm talking more about religion. And again, never did I say that I agree. Y'all putting all these ones, thank you. Never did I say that I agree with everything that their culture or their religion does. I never said that. I said that it helped me the way that it was supposed to, right? I didn't change. I have not converted. Do I feel comfortable wearing the hijab nearby? Absolutely. Because number one, I love it because I'm just like, listen, we spend so much time focusing on clothes and design, what we gonna wear, what we gonna look like. We put that on and that's it. This is what you're getting. You getting this hijab and you getting this abaya. I wore a t-shirt and some what do you call them things? Leggings up on there, and I was good to go every day. Easy to me. I had no problem with it. And then, you know, people were talking about the whole thing, but I don't want to wear this and mask. And I was like, even my sisters who wear the hijabs over their mouth and stuff, I was like, they were ahead of us. They're like, get used to it. Now y'all got to do it. You're welcome. I'm going to answer some questions. Okay, I got some over here. Let's see. Okay, so Valencia said she because she's darker, she said I'm dark, but I didn't feel out of place when I came with you. She said, but I haven't done business yet. But remember, that's a good question. So she's American, okay? They're not going to see they're going to see your American passport. They're looking at your passport before they look at the color of your skin. So that's another thing. Me personally, when I'm in the UAE, I'm glad that somebody not say, oh, there she is. There's old Black woman. She a Black woman. So do you have the credentials? Are you qualified? So let me give you my whole life story because I'm a Black woman. I don't have to do that there. Never have I had to do that there. I walk in and I'm qualified by whatever I told them, and they trust me and believe me, and I delivered. And that's all it ever took. I never have to show my worth. Ever have I ever had to done that. Here, it's a different story. We need your degrees. We need your CV. We need to call folks. We need your resumes. We need to call about 5,000 or 6,000 people for references, right? And then I'm still, even after, I'm still going to have to prove to you, hey, cousin, I'm still going to have to prove to you that I'm worthy of this position. And guess what? Let's be truthful, since we're going to be truthful in here. Even though I am well qualified, and I do have a master's and I'm working on my PhD, right? But there might be one of my other sisters that comes along, and I'm gonna say my sister because it doesn't matter. She's a race. She's Caucasian. She comes along, and all she has is a bachelor's, and she might not even have a bachelor's. She might not have a degree at all. But because the color of her skin, she's probably gonna get that job before I do. See, I never had to do that and worry about that when I worked international. Never, never, ever. And just to be very transparent with you, when I was with two counterparts from London, a man and a woman. Okay. Of course, they're not Black. And I was the only Black woman in Abu Dhabi doing this training. There were 3 rooms. I don't even think I ever told this story. It has so many stories. So it was 3 rooms. Okay. Thank y'all for joining. It was 3-1. You're talking about the US. Yep. In the US. So there was 3 rooms. Okay. So I'm in Abu Dhabi, right? And there were 3 rooms. It was me in one room, and they were going to do their trainings in the other 2 rooms. So in walked the government, because this is who I was training at the time. I was training the government, some of the royal family at the time. I didn't know who was who at the time. They walked in, and so my room was packed. So during break, I went over to their room, and I was like, where is everybody? They were like, we don't know. They walked in and they walked out. So I went over to the lady. I said, where are your students? I don't know. They walked in and they walked out. That's weird. They was like, yeah, can you give us some of your people? And I was like, and I didn't understand at the time. And I was like, well, my room is packed. So being that I had really, this is like probably in 2000 and I don't know, 15, 16. And I, at that point I knew people so I could ask a question. So I asked him, I asked one of the government officials, and I said, why didn't anybody go to their training? And you know what he said to me? He said, because they're white. Look, I'm being straight. I'm just telling you, they're white. And I said, huh? And then they were just, they're white. And that's all he would tell me. Okay. So then I went out, and it was time to eat lunch and prayer time. And I'll never forget, the British guy came up to me, and he was just like, do you know where everybody is? You know, we came all the way over here from London to the United Arab Emirates to do this training, and we haven't had anybody show up for the last 2 days. And I was like, I don't know. All of a sudden I hear this voice, and it was somebody from the government. Guess what he said to me? Miss Wendy, come over here. Don't trust those whiteys. Don't trust the whiteys. Come over here. Don't trust them. Now, mind you, this was in 2013, 2014, 15. They have no filter. They just say what they want to say. That part has not changed. This is the truth. And he told me that. And I was like, wow. Now, I know you could never say something like that in the States, right? And so I was like, oh, this is really interesting. So then I went over to him, and I said, what do you mean? I said, he was just asking me about his training. And he was like, no, you don't trust them. And I ain't messing up my bag for nobody. Okay. So he was on his own after that point, and she was too, like, don't even come talk to me no more, because you ain't messing up my money. All right. Because I already know, I saw how they get down one time they walked in, walked out, that person didn't get them, like, it was a whole mess. So I was like, oh, you ain't messing up my money, so I'm not gonna be talking to you no more. Okay. Well, kind of find out, they actually, the people who were supposed to be in their training saw who they were, and they came over and they were in my training. They didn't want to be in their training. So to answer your question, this is on Periscope. They was asking about the color. So to answer this question, I promise they did. I've never had a problem as an African American woman over there. Like I felt like I worked too hard to say that I have an MBA in my years of experience here. Like it is draining here in the US, y'all. It's draining. And I thank God I have my own businesses that I don't have to do that anymore, because Lord God, please, if I had to go back into the workplace, you know, I always pray. I really do. I really honestly pray for, and because I know the difference of being in corporate America here and then being internationally and working and not having to worry about things. So I always pray and say, you know what, I pray that my sisters can experience, honestly, y'all, what it feels like to just walk in and somebody doesn't care about, they say, what can you do? This is what I can do. This is what I can do. And then they believe you. You know, I want everybody to experience it. I don't want you to have to, like, man, I didn't get that job and she didn't have as much experience as I did, or I need to go, get in debt with $130,000 with student loans because I need to go back to school, to be able to show that at least, and then even then after I go back to school, I'm still gonna have to beg and plead, right? You know, and it's the truth. And that's what we go through. And I want so bad, and I pray, that, my dream is that I have this my consultancy business. It just expands to the point that I'm like able to have people, and I'll never say, people used to say, always you can have people working under you. I don't want you working under me. I want you to work beside me. And that we just are like going to these different countries. And I'm saying, like Renee, Erica, Rochelle, I need you to be in London. I need you to go here. And then they're excited to see you. And your American dollar is your plan C and not your plan A. That's my dream. I want to be that woman. That's what I want to be. I want to be that woman who's able to do that and to give that to my sisters. That's what I want to do. I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to be the person to say, here, go there. And so you don't have to worry about walking into the office and say, here's my resume. Hopefully I get this job. No, it's that, listen, I got this consultancy gig going on in London and Japan and Russia. I'm sorry, America. I know we are busy. We might be able to get to y'all in 2 years, but we are busy right now. We're serving other parts of the world. And so we'll have to see if we can squeeze you in. That's where I want it to be for y'all. And I'm being serious. So I need y'all to help me. So pray for that for us, okay? Because I'm almost there. Oh, trust and believe. Because let me tell y'all something. These last 3 years, Erica T. Johnson can tell you, and Dr. Robin, the way that he has put people in front of me. What did Dr. Prentice Fumi say? She said it was one of us was going to stand in front of presidents and government officials. Didn't she say that? And I was like, I don't know who she talking about. Who's she talking about? Different countries. I said, who's she talking about? Who's going to be standing in front of government officials and ministers? Who's going to be doing that? And I thought it was one of my sisters. And it ended up being me. I went to this event in Dubai and it changed my life. Oh yeah, it does. No, listen. So Deshaun said it happens to men also. No, I have men. Listen, where is he at? Usually he on here somewhere. But no, I have men too that also they listen. They've been in Dubai. We do the global thing. I ain't discriminating. I'm just saying, my first is to my sisters, but I help my brothers out too. I wouldn't leave you. Come on now, we ain't doing that. She did say that, right? And that's what happened. So I went to this event, y'all. I got into this. It was an invitation only. It was last year. Maybe I'll post some pictures. I'm gonna say, y'all, this is the event. So you got to follow me on Instagram, inspiring.decision, so I can post it. And I'm gonna say, this is the event. Actually, I can post on Facebook. This is the event. Yep, exactly, Dr. Ricky. So I said, this is the event. And they said you could come. It's invitation only. I remember, I'll never forget calling Erica T. Johnson and telling her I was going to this event. And I was like, it's going to be some people there from the government. That's what I said. But I thought it was going to be like the regular government that I usually am around, right? So, okay, y'all, listen. There were so many people. There were the presidents of countries and continents that I was shaking hands with, that I have their WhatsApp to this day. I didn't say like the second in charge, the president of the continent and of countries and the ministers and the ministries of education in different places. The Rolodex, the international Rolodex that God has given me these last couple of years, I'm so grateful. Now, at the time, I didn't know what he wanted me to do. To be honest, I was like, what you want me to do with all this? And I was scared. Listen, y'all, this is my truth. I was scared to death when I was in front of them. I was scared. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was like, what am I doing here? Not only did I say, here we go, Erica T. Johnson, don't start. I said, what am I doing here? Why am I here? I'm not supposed to be here. Am I worthy of being here? That's not true. I did. I was like, these people, I was scared to death. I was like, I felt so out of place. Then we had the lady from CNN came up to me. And they was like, we want to interview you. Send us your stuff. And I would love to do an article and whatever you want me to, send it to me. And I was like, and I was with my sister Faza. She's probably asleep in Dubai. And we were meeting all these people together, and it was just, I would have never had the opportunity. I know that event was a God event, 110%, because it was invitation only, and there was no invitation like where I am. This is a total different level, okay? And so what it taught me is that was only my beginning. He was setting me up for what was next to come. That I needed to sit and receive it and just sit in it. So because he's preparing me for what is next. Because if he can put me in rooms with the presidents of continents and shaking hands and them saying, no, I'm not going to give you my business card. I'm going to give you my personal WhatsApp. And I'm not the type of person, oh, let me WhatsApp you. I need this. I don't do that. And you have to pray over everything. But I'm prepared now, y'all. It took a long time. It took a lot of sacrifices. And it took a whole lot of prayer and faith and learning my faith and learning my religion and getting closer to God and learning really truly what prayer is and how to pray and praying more than once. Praying more, honestly, than 5 times a day. I pray when my Muslim sisters and brothers pray. I'm not praying to Allah, but I'm praying to my Lord and Jesus Christ. And so I'm saying that again, for those of you who are just joining, please watch the replay. You can learn we can learn from everybody. We can all learn from each other. We don't have to hate each other. And so the next time you see someone that's dressed in a hijab or an abaya, say hello to them. Ask them how are they doing. Get to know them. Make connections with people from different countries and cultures. Social media is here. You have no excuse. You can reach everybody. And so when people come into your inbox and when people come across your screen and they're writing in Arabic, it doesn't mean that they're saying something that's bad. Some of them are bots, but some of them are not. So don't be so quick to open and say something negative. Don't be so quick because you don't know what they're saying in Arabic. If you can't read Arabic, how you know they're saying something bad? How? You just assume. But all of them are not. All of them are not. I'm happy you were okay. I'm happy that you were exposed. Okay, I'm sorry. Y'all can't read this. I'm reading like you can read it. I'm happy. Hold on. I'm happy that you were exposed to the beautiful religion in Islam. What made you not? No, why can't I read this? What made you not? I can't read it all. Oh, wait, here it is. Okay, hold on. Okay, so she said, I am happy that you were exposed to the beautiful religion in Islam. What made you not become a Muslim? Oh, that's a good question. She said, what made me not become a Muslim? Number one, because my husband is not a Muslim. That's number one. That's the truth. And also, I never thought about converting ever, to be honest with you. Yeah, Abaya. Oh, I didn't see. I'm sorry. I didn't see your thing. Yes. Abaya, you're right. So I never thought about I never thought about it. I don't know. I don't even know how to answer that. I just never thought about it. I'm a Christian, been a Christian, and not saying that I would be against it, but I don't know. That's a deep question. I will say that oh man, I know I'm about to get myself into something, but I didn't question my faith. I wanted to learn more about it because I was like, why is their religion different? Why are they praying to Allah? We prayed like I was really getting into it, y'all. Like I wanted to really understand more so than not really convert. I just wanted to understand more, and it made me really read the Bible. So how I'm going to learn, but the whole thing I'm sitting here trying to learn Islam. I was like, I need to make sure I understand my own. That's the truth. I got to read this whole Bible to make sure I understand my own to be able to compare it to something else. Just being truthful. So I never thought about converting. Yes, absolutely. I never thought about that. Where's the other question at? I saw, oh, here it is. Here we go. Okay, so do you feel they respected you more because you showed them more respect? No, no, listen, I don't believe that. She said, do I feel that they respected me more because I showed them so much respect? No, absolutely not. That's just their nature. They are just, y'all, they're just like that. And I didn't show, like, they didn't know I was showing them respect. Like, they didn't know that I was a lot of them didn't know I was reading the Quran. A lot of people didn't know I was doing Ramadan. A lot of people didn't know I was, they're probably listening now. They didn't know I was praying 5 times a day. They didn't know a lot of that. You know what I mean? So no, that's just who they are. They are very hospitable people, very open arms. Like I said, I know we see a lot of stuff on TV and all of this, y'all, but y'all listen, I'm not somebody who hasn't, I've been 16 years in different parts of different, I'm not going to say that everybody was 100%, ooh, we just love you so much. They just didn't say anything. And that's okay. I'd rather for you not to say anything. If you don't like me, okay, that's fine. But you're not hurting me. You're not saying anything harmful to me. I'm okay with that, you know? Um, but the safest I ever felt in my life was in a Muslim country. I don't feel safe here in the United States of America. I don't. It's too much. I feel safer over there. I got alarms. I got a gun. We got alarms on the house. You got to lock up. You got to have this. Got to have. I'm over it. Over there, I didn't have it. Of course, I didn't have a gun, but I didn't have an alarm system. I left my door unlocked. I could sleep with I'm talking my door to my apartment unlocked. Go to sleep. Car unlocked. I was good. Here's a hot mess, and it's the truth. The belief is Jesus the prophet and not the Son of God. They are awesome humans. They are awesome humans. They just have a different faith. I love you too. We just have a different faith. It's just that's it, I don't know what this is talking about. Let's talk about receive something. I'm in the US now. Let's see. Only other place I didn't feel comfortable, safe, and this is the truth, and they know their country, is London, because they always pickpocketing and stuff, and they even have it on the streets telling you to watch your bags, and India. So and they tell you that. So those are the only places, but never in any, never. Now in Saudi Arabia, when I was going during that time, we just had to be very careful. We lived on a compound. And so we lived on an American compound, and they did check your car, up under your car, in your trunk. Even they saw us 10 times a day. We still had to show our ID. I had to carry around my marriage certificate to show that my husband was my husband, that I wasn't in the car with some man. So it's I really learned a lot in Saudi. So Saudi's a little different. I was never scared, but our security was heightened. But also we were living like not even a mile from the presidential palace. So, that had something to do with it too. Exactly. We all have different religious beliefs, y'all. We do. See, he said, I'm from the UK and I don't feel safe in London. See, but I like London, I do. But that's the part about, some people ask me a lot of times, do I miss Dubai? I miss the peacefulness. I miss the security. I miss being around the Islamic culture as much as I was. I do. I miss the food, but I found some places here in Atlanta who has a lot of Middle Eastern food. I get sick sometimes for eating our food. To be honest, my stomach can't handle it because I lived over there for so long. Hi, Mr. White. So if you're just coming on, please watch the replay. I hope this. I don't know if I didn't answer your questions. I'll go back on Facebook and answer questions. I don't think all of them came through. And you can watch the replay on Periscope. I think it's on YouTube. I don't know what this thing is doing. And definitely Instagram. And I'll save it. But I hope this was helpful. You have any other questions? Didn't mean to shed no tears, but it is what it is, right? But that's what I wanted to share. So being a Christian in a Muslim country was one of the best experiences of my life. It's the truth. It was the truth. Any questions? Okay, question. Would you consider moving back On a more permanent term now, no. But then I would not consider it right now because my husband, we've been doing this for a long time, y'all. Like he's been doing it longer than me. And so we are both kind of retired from our international global marriage part. It's been a lot of years. And so I will definitely always go back. Most definitely. I would definitely. Somebody just asked too, am I back permanently? Y'all asked the same question pretty much. So yeah, I am back. But then, I was supposed to go there for 2 months and end up being over there for years. So, I'll never say never. But I don't have there's no plan to. But they know they can hook me. So I'm kind of glad I can't go right now because I was supposed to go back and I probably would have still been over there for a couple of months. But when I do go, I'll at least stay for a while because I still have business and stuff there. So it's home. Dubai is home, y'all. Like Dubai is like my second home. So think of it like that's home. That's truly home. Like I have people and my family's from Lebanon, from India, from Pakistan, from, all over Africa. So I have a lot of family there. And when you leave someplace and sometimes people don't check on you and you don't follow up with people and, no one follows up with you. And it's kind of like, oh, it was nice knowing them. It's not like that there. I have a translator from 2000 and maybe 10, 9, two of them that we still talk at least once a month. I remember tuning in years ago during your travels. Yeah. And so I'm home now. And so that's my truth. And I hope, like I said, I hope it inspires someone and I'll continue to share my stories and, hopefully it inspires you all to, to travel once this is over and really experience some cultures. And so when you're traveling, instead of saying I'm going on vacation just to go on vacation, go and learn and experience the culture, like eat the food, right? And see where you can go to the museums and just learn. You'll be surprised at how you see how we have so many similarities more than we are different. Just look. We are a lot of the same more than we are different. You're going to learn. Yay. And just do it. Just do it. See, you said I'm going to learn. So see, if nothing else out of this live, I'm good because you said you're going to learn. See? Any other questions? Let me make sure on here that I didn't miss anything. That I need to go order my husband's food. Because y'all know I ain't cooking today. Let me just see, make sure y'all, that's what men. Oh, Dr. E says she's trying to buy her some land. Yep, definitely buy some land in a different country, y'all. Hopefully 2021, that's what I'm working on a trip for, Dr. Eve. It's actually in part of Africa. So I will keep you posted on that. And that's the main purpose of the trip. It's about land and real estate. Because we're going to also learn how to make some money. Remember, it's very important that we have multiple streams of currencies. Y'all always saying, well, I don't have multiple streams of income. I need y'all to have some multiple streams of currencies. Okay, that's what we're going for. Because as I always say, that American dollar ain't loyal. It ain't. And it ain't never going to be. Multiple streams of currencies. The American dollar and these jobs and all these contracts in the good old USA need to be a plan C. There's other options and opportunities out there. You just have to know that, a lot of people always say to me, I just didn't know it was possible. It is possible. I am no different than you. No different than you. It's just that I work very hard to get it. And I've sacrificed a lot. A lot. Y'all, I've only had like 3 hours of sleep today. I've been up talking to people in, where was she? Kenya, Ghana, Dubai, and somewhere else. I don't even remember. I've been up talking in all those countries today. But I'm okay with that because I will never, ever let the American dollar be my plan A after it was never loyal to me. My husband and I lost a lot depending on the American dollar. And I won't allow that anymore. And anybody who is with me and beside me, I won't allow that for you either. And if you don't go get it, it's because you ain't want to. okay? Because it's a whole lot of currency out there. It's a whole lot of it, and they ready to give it, but you got to go after it. Can't be scared. Can't say, I don't want to go to this country. I don't want to travel. I'm scared because I don't know the language. I'm not sure because I don't know what they're going to say. No, you got to put all that fear. You got to let it go. Because it's out there, y'all. Because I'm overwhelmed. I am. It's a good overwhelm, but I'm a very overwhelmed. Dr. Robin and Aaron going to tell you, I'm very overwhelmed, y'all. And I need some people to ride with me, you know? But you got to want it. It's not something you can say, I just want to go global one day in 1 week, 2 months. You gotta stick with it, y'all. You gotta stick with it. Some people wonder why I don't sleep. Exactly. And if you're not sleeping right now, let me just say that's your sign. If you're up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, you're just getting that global. Your mindset, God is preparing you for your global journey so you could be on that time zone. So talk to him. Listen to the downloads. Listen. Okay. Any questions? Y'all good? That's all I have to say. So Friday, what do we have going on? So Friday, we have the book club. It's free. That starts Friday. I'm excited. We are reading Superfans, and I don't have it up here. And we have my global vision strategic party, because we're not just gonna be cutting no paper. If y'all want to cut paper, you can cut your paper. But we're gonna have a whole mind mapping session about your 2021 plan. And of course, you got to have that global piece. I don't care if you don't have a business. You're going to have a vision before you leave that class or that party. That's Saturday. And we only have 2 more seats left, y'all. That's it. I'm about to close that down. You are more than welcome. Thank you so much for joining, Ed. I hope you're doing well. And so if y'all want to join any of those, you can click the link in my Periscope. Linktree is up there. And join us for the book club. It's free, or the vision party. It's only 2 more left. And so what we're going to do in that vision party, we're going to do mind mapping, a whole strategic plan about your business, your desired business, career. You know, if you're working, I'm not one of those to say quit your 9 to 5. I'm not doing all that. That's not my job to say. But it is my job to tell you how to get some multiple streams of currencies. That's the only job that I have. So not to tell you leave your 9 to 5. I'm not doing that. All right. But I would love to have you, but there's 2 more seats left. And that's it. But thank y'all so much for listening and with open hearts and minds. And if anybody has questions, you want to message me separately, that's fine. But hopefully, I pray that you all receive it and understand that this was my journey, mine. Okay. Thank y'all so much. I don't even know how to end this thing, this restring thing. Hold on, there's finished. Bye, y'all. I'm going to come back. Now I'm going to start using this because now I get to see everybody on Periscope. Yeah, I'm going to come back. I'm going to start using this thing. We're going to see. I'm going to look at it, and hopefully it went well, and I'll come back over. See, I ain't been on Periscope in so long. But thank y'all so much. I appreciate you all. God bless you all and your family.